Welcome. This is Leading with Spirit, the show that gives you an in-depth look at topics like what it takes to navigate your spiritual journey, how to heal yourself and grow your spiritual gifts, and balanced practices to expand your business and your spiritual leadership. I'm your host, Spirit Bird, shamanic teacher, healer, and author, here to guide you on your journey to becoming your most potent spiritual leader. Hello and welcome. Very excited to have with me today Jan Canete. Jan is a shamanic healer and Reiki master teacher. She has over 20 years of experience in the creative and healing arts industry. She utilizes a lot of modalities, including meditation, henna, reflexology, tarot, Reiki, and of course, shamanic healing to assist her clients on their healing journey. And so welcome, Jan. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Mm-hmm. So to get started, I'd love to hear a little bit more just about you and what brought you to the healing arts.
So I'm going to jump back. About 30 years ago, I began a career as a manicurist. And part of that was doing a lot of hand and foot massage. And I, at the time, would have clients reaching out to me and expressing, oh, when you were massaging my foot, it felt so good, but I could really feel heat, like just radiating from your hands, or I felt like sensations through my body. And well, I didn't really know how to process that. I didn't know what they were experiencing, but it was at a later time through my personal journey with yoga and meditation that I realized how passionate I was about learning more about spirituality and the healing arts. And then I started to undergo training in Reiki and energy healing and understanding the chakras. So it's just interesting how that my job as a manicurist kind of moved me into the healing arts, just working with clients. And being there also, a lot of them would say, oh, I just love talking to you. Strangers come to me and they just tell me everything that's going on in their life, which is great. So I just at that time wondered, what is it, why do I attract this to my life, my personal and professional, both aspects there. And like I said, it was once I got into the healing arts and learning more, it just helped me to understand what my path was as a healer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll jump back a little further. Before, did you consider yourself a spiritual person before that? Is that something that was kind of open to you already, or?
Yeah, it was. I would say, in my childhood, we went to church. I grew up Roman Catholic. I think more in my young adult life, I started to explore different teachings. And it was through that it just kind of opened me up to different experiences and different people and different teachings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah. I love the entry point with, with self-care and body care and working with clients in that way as well. Because there's so many people, especially women, I think, that are essentially caretakers in some way of other people. And I think it gets overlooked with how deep that work actually goes and how meaningful and impactful it can be for people in our lives.
It is. It can be quite profound. And sometimes I don't think that we even realize, how much, well, of course, this is something that you've taught is like that nurturing part of you and how we can give. Mm-hmm. And we're overcome with that we forget, we lose ourselves mm-hmm. and taking care of ourselves. So that was always something that I connected with when it comes to like just that connection with clients and understanding that.
That they deserve some caring in return.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So then you came in through yoga and meditation and started learning and teaching Reiki, and you still teach Reiki, correct?
I do. I
Yeah.
still am teaching. I'm in my 12th year now of being certified. And I waited a while before I started to teach. A lot of it was just gaining the confidence to get out there and do it. But I enjoy it so much. I just love teaching, especially in a well, in a smaller group setting, I enjoy that. And now, too, with the way the world is running nowadays, I'm enjoying a lot of the virtual offerings and connections, too.
Great. Yeah. What do you remember? I'm so curious now that we're talking about this. Do you remember your first class that you taught?
My first class that I taught, yes, I do. And it was actually, it would have been in like 2016, 17, around the same time of the year, because I had actually a social media memory come up reminding me of that day. And and how nervous I was. And I was sitting in my car, just like, just overthinking everything and running through scripts and everything I wanted to talk about. But of course, it went much smoother than that. But I recall sitting out in my car, and I'm sitting there, and this big, huge butterfly came and landed right on the window next to me. And it was amazing. It just brought me like this moment of just peace and joy, and from there on I didn't even think about how nervous I was.
Mm.
So it's nice to see that butterfly come up once a year on my social media.
Oh, beautiful. Do you remember what was going through your head when you decided to start offering the Reiki training?
Yeah, I would say a big thing was, I had been certified as a teacher at that point for maybe 6, 7 years. So a big thing for me is like, why did I wait so long to
Mm.
start teaching? But that's okay. Because it kind of forced me to take a look at that. Like, why did you wait? Is it, were you not confident enough? Well, yeah, but I'm somebody too that feels like, oh, this isn't perfect yet. I've got to get this perfect before I move on. And that's not true. So now I'm offering it more frequently. And I'm having people actually reach out when I don't have classes scheduled. So it's nice to keep that flow going.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, tell us a little bit more about when right before you joined Shaman School and where you were at and what piqued your interest or what drew you to that next step.
So prior to Shaman School, I actually stepped away from my clientele, with my Reiki clientele, and I went back to customer service and was working in a salon and spa. And it was nice. I liked the interaction with the people and the clients, but they weren't my clients. I wanted, and I really wanted that. I regret like stepping away from it. I knew a lot of it was I needed to have more clarity too on what it was I wanted to offer. I didn't want to just start up again. And at one time I was offering Reiki healing for every and anything, which is not bad. But, I thought that if I could find what I'm like, I don't want to say really good at, but something that I've experienced myself and something that I can help others with, that I would like to tap more into that, more of a specialty.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, I'll throw this question at you too, because I'm also curious. Was there anything that happened during the Shaman School program that stuck out to you or surprised you in your life?
Um, I mean, there's so many things. It's not that I can't think of anything, Joe. It's just there were a lot of takeaways with Shaman School, but um, So a few things. I really learned to trust myself, my intuitions, and the decisions I make. I struggled with that, I think, in the past. So that was something that I gained from Shaman School. Also learning to honor my feelings and my dreams, desires, and speaking my voice. Shaman School kind of highlighted that that's where some healing needed to go. So that helped me there. But I think it was the biggest takeaway that I learned to like harness my spiritual gifts and best serve others, like while fulfilling what I knew was my life purpose.
Hmm. Hmm.
Does that make sense?
It
Like
do- it
it's
does.
just like a puzzle pieces just fitting together,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt so good to learn the program was just very, the teachings were very concise and easy to understand and relatable to my own experiences in life. I enjoyed that,
Hmm.
that part of it. I've taken other trainings and classes, and not that they were bad or anything, but sometimes I just didn't really um connect to it.
Sure.
And that in Shaman School, it was 100% connection all the time.
Yeah, you were with my very first class too. And I mean, I enjoy everybody I work with, but that's special to think back on that and that group of
Yeah,
people especially.
yeah, definitely,
Mhm.
definitely.
So now you are continuing to offer, you started offering your Reiki training again, and now you work
Yes,
with people one-on-one, and you also help people with anxiety. Is that right?
yes, yes. So my program is an 8-week program. I offer it online, and it helps people who suffer from anxiety, where they feel maybe um, just kind of foggy in the head, and they can't make clear decisions, or their mental and emotional anguish is manifesting and turning into physical pain.
Mm,
So a few things, but it helps them to gain clarity again, get nice and grounded and centered, and be able to release some of the angst that we hold on to,
mhm,
um, some of the memories, some of the trauma. Sometimes it's not anything really big, but just holding on to it and how that can impact you
mm,
and your well being. Um, and then, the benefit is that they've got that clarity and confidence to overcome it without me. They know they've got the tools to conquer anxiety when I'm not around on a phone call with
yeah.
them, or yeah.
Yeah, that's such an important part of this work too. Obviously, like the inner work journey can keep going for forever if we want it to.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
also, I that's one of the reasons that I love the healing arts is being able to help people get right down to the root of things quickly and move through what's causing the anxiety or their issue, and then be able to have the tools, so just like you said, to handle it on their own.
Hmm.
So it's not a need to continue to circle back and keep working on the same thing over and over and over again.
And reacting in the same manner that we're
Mm,
used to reacting in.
mhm,
Yes,
mhm.
that's true. I was trying to think. It's funny that you were talking about that. Well, not funny. I knew we were going to talk about it, but today I was listening to the news, and they said that Michigan, where I am located,
Mhm.
is has the highest number of anxiety and depression.
Oh, interesting.
I know, and a part of it they attribute to seasonal disorders. Of course,
Mm,
we have no sun here in the winter months, and
yeah.
it is pretty gloomy. But I thought, wow, that's amazing that we're up there at the top.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Do you have
So
a suspicion of what that's from besides weather?
I, you know, I can't say really. I was shocked, at it. And I wonder how much of a differential, like between us and number two in the country, where they stand too. I kind of want to go in and see what that is.
Yeah.
How close it is. Yeah. But definitely shows mental health, how we need this.
Yeah. Do you feel like you had to struggle or battle with anxiety yourself?
I did. I think as a young girl, I did. But I don't know. Mine was more, maybe, not that this is a great thing, but like just completely shutting it down, and suppressing feelings and emotion and angst and trying to stay strong, versus just losing it, like where I feel like I'm losing control. And I know everybody has anxiety in different ways, but for me, that's, I think, how it was, where maybe I didn't see it as anxiety because I was too busy trying to be strong on it,
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of folks could relate to that. I certainly can too, in that I'm spending so much energy trying to cover it up. I don't even realize
what you're doing. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And those eventually rise up again. So that's not, what you want to do.
Yeah. Just face it kind of head on and move through it.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have, what do you feel like helped you move through that in your own life?
Well, again, I think a lot of it was me delving into the spiritual and healing arts. It truly was. Just to go to yoga was my church. And I know a lot of people can understand that, or even now a journey, a shamanic journey or meditation. It helps big time.
Yeah.
And for me, everybody's going to be different. For me, I need alone time, like to gather my thoughts and kind of, clear things out. I need a lot of alone time.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something I think also is sometimes hard for us to ask for if we have spouses or families or situations like that, where even just getting to be in a room by yourself for a little while is super important to most people, but it can be hard to ask for sometimes.
Yeah. So that was helpful. And then the Reiki that was doing self-treatments, that was very helpful. And I think just love and support from the people around me.
Yeah. This is another question I have for you, because I get this a lot. So maybe I'll toss it to you. People ask a lot the difference between Reiki and shamanic healing. And I know that can be a lot of crossover there, but I wonder what your opinion on that is.
I see that at the start even of Shaman School, with a lot of the work we did on the energy centers and chakras. It was a lot like what I would teach in a class or a workshop, or even guiding a meditation. It was very similar. So in that sense, I can see the overlap. With Reiki, a lot of it too, you're not really saying a whole lot. There's a lot of verbal communication in shamanic healing that I didn't do necessarily with hands-on healing. I may ask questions or give a client the time to talk about what's going on for them energetically and in their body. But outside of that, it's quiet, pretty quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's always interesting topic to look into. So many modalities have a lot of crossover, and of course they're all, essentially coming from the same place and from human observation and experience, and our system is set up the way it's set up. So of course we would approach it in some similar capacities. Yeah.
Yes. and actually, that's what I decided to do was integrate the two. So my healing package is really a shamanic Reiki healing.
Mhm.
And that way, a client can also receive distant healing Reiki as we're moving through a journey or shamanic healing session.
Yeah, beautiful. Hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So where are you at in your business? Are you excited about what you're doing now? Do you like it? What
I
changed for you
do.
there? Yeah.
I do. I'm liking that. So I'm not really doing it full time. I'm really busy with family and personal things going on right now,
Mhm.
which that's fine. I'm working more part time with it and teaching part time, but every now and then too, I've have the time and opportunity to schedule events um, here and there, more seasonal. So in the summertime, um, over the weekend, we're doing a hike and meditation and shamanic journey with some
Mhm.
Reiki. So it's not a big event, something small, a little laid back, very relaxing, but it's going to be a good weekend.
Mhm. Beautiful. So I wonder if you have any um, thoughts or advice from folks that feel like they or are courting making that jump from what they're doing into the healing arts, or even from learning about the healing arts into actually offering something.
Say the last part again,
And
the
it's,
offering.
yeah, moving from like learning about healing arts to actually offering something.
Um, I think something that's important and that you have taught me is clarity on what it is you want to call it.
Mm. Hmm.
And so before jumping into building your business and that, really knowing who it is you want to help, how you can help them, and what capacity you are willing, what you're willing to give into that, just being very clear on what it is you want. Mindset's important too, and also working on yourself. We all have to do that, and that is, I think, a big part of it. Is it just goes outward from there when you're working on yourself.
Yeah.
Just goes outward to, I mean, touches everything around you, everybody and everything around you.
Hmm.
So healing yourself and then healing your the world around you.
Hmm. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Any last thoughts or things you'd like to share, either about your offers or?
Let me think. Trying to think. Well, I do have the Conquer Anxiety offer. That's on my page, jancanete.com/, Conquer Anxiety. You can, if you sign up, you get 2 free coaching intention setting calls with the program, which is helpful with setting intentions from the start of where you're at and where you want to go
Mhm.
with healing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Instagram at Jan B. Canete and on Facebook at Jan B. Canete, shamanic healer and mentor.
Beautiful.
Oh, that was a lot to get out, but thank you.
We'll be sure to post those links in the show notes as well, so you can find those easily. And yeah,
Thank
and just
you.
again, that offer with the anxiety, if you're been dealing with anxiety or struggling with it or trying to suppress it and you are ready to move beyond that, I can't recommend Jan enough.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so, yeah, be sure to check out those links or give us a DM and we'll set you up with her. So thanks again so much for joining me today, Jan. It's been a pleasure, such a pleasure knowing you, and a pleasure watching you work as well. And you bring a lot of joy wherever you are. So it's been fun to
Same
be around
here.
you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was good seeing you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Have you been hearing the call to expand your spiritual gifts and step into your next level of conscious leadership? If you're a coach, healer, or a spiritual leader, you can learn more about Shaman School and growing your spiritual business on our website, holtonhealingarts.com. or send me a DM at Holton Healing Arts. Welcome to today's Member Query episode, where we explore questions about spiritual paths, intuitive gifts, growing a spiritual business, and shamanism. Do you have a question for us? Send us a DM at Holton Healing Arts. This question is from one of our Leading with Spirit Facebook group members, and the question is how to get started with shamanism and the shamanic path. Which is a wonderful question and probably overlooked by a lot of people. So there are so many really beautiful, wonderful resources out there that you can use to get started, and lots of great books, not only on the subject, but from the experience of people who have lived the shamanic life. One of the places that I really enjoy pointing people to first is to experience shamanic journey. So the way you interact in a journey is also the way that you can interact with the flow of life. So if you learn this practice for yourself, then on your own, you can begin to engage in speaking with the spirit in things, speaking with the flow of life, listening to the earth, and having a conversation with your guides. From there, you can go all different kinds of directions, and you can make this path as complex or as simple as you want it to be. But I recommend starting with journey work. And if you'd like, you can find some free guided shamanic journeys and instructions to get you started on my website. You can go to holtonhealingarts.com/portal. And there's a whole section on there for you for a shamanic journey. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Leading with Spirit. If you did, please share the link for this episode with your biggest takeaway, tagging me at Holton Healing Arts. It would also support me if you subscribed and left a rating and review of the show so we can support more people living their highest